Hi guys, it's Wayne Cameron again, continuing my series on my YouTube channel. Ralph is with us again today. We're going to do a part of a very popular solo that students in high school and some in college find a lot of fun to play, especially high school kids for Solo Festival. It's the Andante and Allegro by Ropartz. It's kind of an intermediate piece. It has some rhythm concerns on Allegro part, which would be good in a lesson. But the Andante is what we're going to focus on today. It's relatively easy to play, but it can be extremely boring for the student. So we're going to work on some things that can make it a little more interesting. So Ralph's going to give it a shot. We're going to play it straight first, the way you'll hear it on YouTube. Then we're going to put some interpretive things to it. Okay, Ralph, go ahead. Play it just a tad slower. Okay, all right, so that's the way it goes. Now, the first two notes are a complete musical phrase. Now, if you look over on page 2, halfway down the second page, where the theme comes back temporarily, you'll see that Ropartz wrote that rhythm differently. Instead of a quarter note and a half note, he wrote a quarter note and a quarter note tied to an eighth note with an eighth note rest. And then the next two note phrase, he did the same thing. Now, you really should do that in the beginning too. Unfortunately, we don't have a piano player here, but if you listen to the harmonies under it, the harmonic changes on the second beat in that measure where the half note is. And it should be phrased there. Dee da taper, da da taper, da da da. See, each one of those, there are 3 phrases there, and that each one gets more ornamented. It's basically the same phrase. You have it 3 times. So let's try that much, okay? Completely different. Now, the second line, you've got the same rhythm, but at a different pitch level. Let's do the same thing there. Good. Now, you can taper even more on that, dynamic-wise. Try that second line.
On this last bit, or you mean all of them?
Right. Right there. Start there. Very good. Now, printed in the music in the next section is called, it says dolce, which means sweetly. Now, what are you going to do to make it sound sweetly? Now, here's my opinion. This first movement has three different characteristics. The beginning is grave. It's very sad, very sad. That's why you don't want to play it too fast. Play it very sad, very deadpan in many ways. But then when you get to dolce, dolce means to do it sweetly. Well, the easiest way to do that is to increase your tempo just a little bit. Okay? So what we're going from a grave sad section to a happy section. So you want to make it just a little faster. And then as we go down, I'm going to conduct Ralph. As we go down, we'll do some rubatos and stuff like that. So listen to this. So, dee da da da, kind of like that. Do you see what happens? And you reach the climax at the first movement here at the end of the fourth line. You can make a cello rondo, you can make it really bigger, you can actually go faster. Then toward the end here where we stopped, he's transitioning back into the sad section. And so the next part, we play it like we did the beginning.
Yeah. Can I take a second?
Slower tempo with tapered half notes. Very good, very good. Now, I've got to tell you, over my career, I was a judge for all state and all county solo festivals many, many times. And you hear these kids playing these pieces. And on the judging sheet, there's always a thing that says interpretation. Well, I never did it, but I was tempted to put none. Because half the time the kids just played it straight. And they played pieces that if you had a musical imagination, you could do all kind of beautiful things with it. Now, you know and I know that wind and brass players are ensemble-y trained. We're never trained to interpret. We're trained to do what we're told. Well, when you play a solo, you got to forget that. You've got to look at the music and see what the music is begging you to do to it. I have a video on musical interpretation, so if you want to see my views on it, you might want to review that. But anyway, this is a great little solo. It can help a student start learning how to interpret. So anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks, Ralph.
Thanks, my pleasure.
See you later.
Yeah.